And we are live. What's good, Charles? Man, Bill Saint. Welcome. Really want to know podcast, man. How y'all feeling out there? Happy Thursday, guys. Happy Thursday. Yeah, one more day and the week is over. One more day. Just checking out the audio. One more day and the week is over, man. I hope you guys are doing well. Things are going the way it's supposed to go, I suppose, on this end. Nothing too much to complain about. Just doing what we do over here. So today, because you guys like it when we talk about air traffic stuff, I found a video that kind of shows what happens when airplanes get too close and a pilot doesn't like it. And so we're gonna have a look at that. We're gonna break that down, and then I'll basically tell you guys some things that the controller could have done that could have avoided the situation. We kind of thought it'd be kind of cool to look at that. Um, we're still waiting for news to break on the Reagan uh, mid-air collision, and it's gonna be slow going because NTSB like to take their time on something like this, and this is extremely high profile, so they're going to take even more time, make sure they get it right, dot all the I's, cross all the T's. Y'all know how it is. So yeah, let's get into it. I can't take too much time today because I got a comedy show to do tonight. So let's get into it, shall we? And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. I'm glad you guys are here. We got Miss AKA Lady in the building. What's good, sis? Good to see you. Good to see you. We're down here. We're down here in Florida, in the central part of Florida, and the weather done got back to normal, guys. It's 80 degrees. It's beautiful out there. It's not even that humid. So I'm pretty sure it's really nice over there where she at too. But over here where I'm at, it is really nice. We got Sister Tia in the building. What's good, sis? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so glad you're here. Sister Tia's always hit me up. She's like, I like this content. Keep doing more of it. I'm like, all right, sis, you asked for it, you're getting it. So we're gonna definitely keep doing the ATC stuff. Don't worry, guys. I know there's a lot of dudes out here like, yo, man, we like it when we talk the RP stuff, the relationship stuff, man. Don't let that go, Unc. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm not gonna let that go. But we're gonna do both. We're just gonna figure out how to work both. You know what I mean? To kind of find that happy median so we can keep everyone pretty happy. But the ATC stuff, man, it is fascinating. I get it. I'm from that world. It's a very unique world, and most people don't rock with us like that. Most people aren't in that world, so it is what it is. So I know that's why people are so fascinated. You get to hear the lingo, you get to see what we're doing, and I'm kind of going to paint the picture so you can see what's going on in their minds. Not just air traffic controllers, but the pilots as well. So it's gonna be cool, man. We got GMC Ham in the building. What's good, bro? The Templars up in the piece, bro. Got the Templars up in the piece, man. He's like been trying to catch up on all the air traffic streams in the past couple of days. Appreciate it, man. A lot of people are checking it out, man. A lot of people they like it. Everybody's saying that they like the insight, they like what's going on. So we're gonna keep doing it. I was surprised to discover how many channels cover aviation stuff. I mean, it's mostly pilots talking about it. I have yet to come across a former air traffic controller who has a channel. I'm pretty sure there's some out there. So the next step, guys, just so you guys know before we get into this show, the next step is I'm gonna reach out and try to collab with these channels. Like the channel we have this Avocado Aviation, right? We're about to react to their content, which is just the radio transmissions. There's a brother out there, a young guy who's a pilot. I think he's working his way up to be I think he wants to be an air carrier pilot, but he has a channel I stumbled across where he's just talking about stuff, aviation related stuff, pilot stuff, of course. So I'm definitely going to reach out to that guy and see if we can't do a show and just let him bounce questions off for me. I mean, you guys get to see how the ATC world, although we work with pilots every day, all day, even the pilots are kind of confused as to what we're doing. So the pilots are the ones who ask the most questions. So I'm gonna definitely catch up with that with that brother, and I'm gonna see if I can catch up with some people that maybe some former retired um airline pilots or something like that. So we're gonna grow this out. We're gonna grow this out. I had a thought for a moment, like, well, maybe I'll just make a whole channel dedicated to ATC stuff. You guys let me know about that. Because we got that downrange podcast channel that I haven't done anything with. I'm guilty. I started it, put up a bunch of videos, and didn't do nothing with it. So we can turn that into an aviation channel and just do all aviation stuff. So you guys let me know what you think is the best. Um, and look, and Sister Tia, she's like, I'm down for whatever. I like this. I like the red pill stuff too. So it's cool. We're gonna keep it rolling then. For now, we'll just keep it rolling, doing what we're doing. We'll bounce back and forth. And as we get into this, we'll see. We'll let we'll let our supporters dictate which way we go and how we get there. So yeah. So let's get into this, man. So I think you guys are gonna really enjoy this video we're about to watch. Um the title of the video is video. See, Tia, you got me doing this. Says video. The title of the video is "Would Have Been Nice to Know, Guys," and I'm pretty sure that's what the pilot of the private jet said about the military jets blowing right by him. So F18's and citation jet near collision at Austin. So obviously this is taking place at Austin. This is in Texas. Never been to that airspace. Now I don't think I know any controllers who work there. Um, but we're gonna watch this video. It's about a 5-minute video, and of course I'll be stopping as we go along. And then when we get to the end, I'll just kind of sum it up and give my take on how this could have been avoided or whatever. And that'll be the end of the video, guys. And then I'll go cook for my daughter and then get ready for this comedy show we have tonight in Ybor City. If you're in Tampa and you're looking for something to do tonight, come to Trillis at Buckham, Ybor City on 7th Street. We're right next door to 1920. Every other Thursday we do live comedy. We have Cam coming tonight, man. We always have the best comics in Tampa, and then we catch up with guys who are just kind of in Tampa for a day and on their way somewhere else or whatever, or these road comics. So if you don't have anything to do, man, pull up. We start at 9:00, so come early. Get yourself some nice flatbread, some nice beer and wine. We have some select alcohol beverages now, like Fireball and some vodkas. Yeah, because you get into the laws. Is one day I'm gonna bring the pros in here and talk about the laws, man, when it comes to liquor license and stuff like that, and food and wine and all that, beer and wine, and it's crazy. I'm learning stuff every day, y'all. Even though I'm old, I'm that old dog trying to learn new tricks, y'all. But if you're in Tampa, come out, pull up. It is what it is. Look at this. She's like, yes, everyone liked the video. Good to see you. You got brother Pablo in the building. What's good, fam? Good to see you, man. And Pablo likes the political stuff too, man. I'm definitely gonna I might have to, instead of doing Monday and Thursdays, I might have to do like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. I might have to throw another day in there, maybe a Saturday, because there's a lot of political stuff going on. I just watched a video on from More Perfect Union on YouTube. Um, More Perfect Union is a left-leaning um platform where they go in and they cover what's going on socially in America. They went back to Springfield, Ohio to talk about what's going on there with the Haitians and the people of Springfield. Excellent, excellent, excellent video, guys. Excellent, excellent video. Like, go check out More Perfect Union. Brother Pablo, check that out. More Perfect Union. You'll see the one I'm talking about. They go into Springfield. They even got to the bottom of the rumor. Like, where did that rumor come from? Like, the people are eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. They actually found the person who is responsible, kind of, sort of, for that rumor as to what happened. Is really worth checking out. Yeah, brother Pablo, I might have to start doing Saturdays, man, and just cover like the political stuff on Saturdays. There's a lot going on. So definitely gonna do that. And brother GMC, I was like, yeah, just give me an update. I got all the pre-employment stuff done. Outstanding. Just the biggest thing is the background check and the SF-86. Man, stay on top of that, bro. Don't let what's going on in the news deter you, man. Because brother GMC Hammer's going to be in there traffic controller, man. Again, one of the Templars. Templars are tough enough, man. We can hack it. So we're gonna get him in there, get him squared away, get him into the academy, get through the academy, get to his facility. Can't wait, bro. I'm looking forward to that, man. Don DeMarco, for you, man, for making this happen, bro. And as you know, I wasn't lying, bro. We need air traffic controllers even more now than ever. More so now than ever, man. We definitely need air traffic controllers. So this is a good video for you too, bro. Like, you're gonna get to see some of the stuff that you're gonna encounter as an air traffic controller. And then once you get in, you get done with your tower, then you'll move on, do some radar stuff, hopefully. And then from there, you can do what you want to do. Go to a big radar facility, go to a big tower, whatever you want to do. Get involved with the union, whatever you want to do. But the thing is, just stay on top of the game. And this is going to be a good video to see what I'm talking about, man. So this video, Avocado Flight, is already linked in the description below. Check this out. Go check out his page, man, and subscribe. Let me subscribe right now while I'm saying all that. I'm out now. I'm subscribed. Go check out what they're doing, man. They do good work over there. And I'm pretty sure we're going to be using, reacting to their content more. I'm definitely going to reach out to these guys, find out who they are. They got about 7,500 subscribers or so. Definitely going to want to work with those guys. Maybe if we're lucky, you can interview the people behind them. If we can, we'll see. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it. So we're going to listen to, I'm trying to get this thing right. So what we're going to hear is, you're going to hear the approach controller. Remember, when you're dealing in air traffic control, man, there are a bunch of air traffic controllers that are working airspace all over the country. You have your en route guys, which we call the center guys. Those are the people who are working like way up there, like, 13, 16,000 feet and above, depending on their airspace. But their ceiling, the base of their airspace normally starts around anywhere from 10 to 16,000, depending on the airspace, and goes all the way up to like 30,000 feet plus. That's the en route guys. Below them, you have the TRACON guys, which are the guys who run. They basically get everyone. Remember, I talked about that big funnel. At the top of the funnel is the center guys. In the middle of the funnel, as it's starting to get smaller and smaller, that's the TRACON dudes. Those are the guys that are lining them up. Remember that movie Pushing 10? That's the TRACON. And then at the very bottom of the funnel is the towers, where the airplanes are going to actually land. Right. So we're going to be hearing the TRACON guy first. And then you're going to hear the TRACON and see the TRACON guy lining up these airplanes. They're all jets. There's 2 F18's, a Citation 6, and then another, and a Foothills airplane, which can be any type of aircraft. It could be a Citation, it could be a Falcon, it could be anything. I'm not sure what Foothills is, type of airplane it is. Maybe it'll show us in the video. But you got jets. You got really, really fast jets. You got, a medium speed jet and a slow jet. And they're all descending, and they're all going to the same airport. So the TRACON guys are taking care of that. Now, some facilities, like the TRACON, may be in that building. So let's look at Miami Tower, for example. In Miami, Florida, the TRACON guys are in the basement, so to speak, like on a ground level of the facility. The TRACON is there. All the radar controllers are in that building, in the TRACON. Then you go all the way up to the tower, and that's where the tower controllers are. So we call those type facilities, well, they call them, because I'm retired now, but those facilities are known as up-down facilities. Not a whole lot of them left anymore. Most of the TRACONs now are housed in separate buildings. To give you an example, like Southern California TRACON is in San Diego, California, but they run all of the airspace for like almost all of the West Coast. So like from Southern California down to the border, and then as far east, I think, as like Nevada, Arizona type stuff. They butt up, their airspace butts up against theirs. So you got a pretty big airspace, pretty big chunk of sky that the TRACON guys are working. So if you're flying around in LA, you're flying into LAX, or you're flying into Burbank, or you're flying into, you name the airport. If you're flying into San Diego Lindbergh, or if you're flying into Santa Barbara, well, they have their own approach control, but you get my point. Like if you're flying anywhere in Southern California, you're going to be talking to SoCal, and they're in San Diego. Just to give you an idea. Then you have other patches of airspace that have their own TRACONs. I think another up down is Santa Barbara. They have their own approach control, so you have an up down there. Bakersfield, I believe, is an up down, which is in California. So there are places out there that have that. But generally speaking, the big airports, the radar guys aren't there. Why am I telling you this? What's the importance of having an up down? Well, if something goes wrong, let's say the tower controller is handed something by the radar controller and it's just a mess, and the tower has to figure out how to make it work properly and unscrew up the mess or whatever. As soon as he's done, That tower control is going to get on the elevator, go all the way down to the first floor, go into the break room for the radar room, and go find that control. Like, hey man, what were you doing? Like, what the hell was that? You can't do that if you're in a separate facility. So, like, I can remember once I made a mistake. I was working a tower at Van Nuys, and the TRACON guys asked me if I could do something, and I said, yeah, I could do it. Turns out the pilot didn't want to do it. I got flustered, tried to make it work. It was just a mess. And the TRACON guys got mad at me. So what do? They go to the phone and they call you. So what happened was I screwed it up, and I went to the phone. I got on break. I went to the phone and I called the TRACON and I apologized. Like, hey man, who's working? Who was working Woodland? Who was working Valley? Whatever sector it was. Who was working that sector? And they told me, I'm like, hey, that was me on this end. Hey, let them know I apologize. I won't do that again. I thought I could make that happen. That was dumb of me. I shouldn't have done that. My bad, bro. And they're like, all right, cool. Right. It was nothing. We didn't have a loss of separation or anything like that. It wasn't like airplanes about to hit, nothing like that. It was just internal stuff. We normally, I have a level of professionalism I hold myself to, and I didn't hold myself to that standard. I screwed up. I should have told the controller down there right away when I screwed up, and I caused a delay for other airports, and that was on me. So I called them up. So that's, if we were in an up down, I could have went right downstairs to TRACON and apologized in person. Like, hey man, sorry about that. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. Just a little bit of the nuance as to how it worked. Sister Nicole's in the building. What's good, sis? He's like, I'm late, but good day. We good. You here, just you right on time. It's all good. Brother Pablo was like, was ATC at fault for the latest episode with the F-18 and the Cessna? We're gonna find out. We're about to get into this in a second. We got Dr. B in the building. What's good, fam? Yes, brother. What we're about to watch actually happen. This is real ATC stuff. That's what we're going to be doing. This is what you guys want. So I'm going to just find this stuff out there and react to it, and then give you my point of view on what went wrong, and all that good stuff. And if we really wanted to, we can go and find out if anyone got in trouble behind this. We can go and find out if there was anything done. We'll talk about that too in a sec. And then GMC Hammer was saying, yeah, yo, was the dress code like at the facilities you were at? Brother Tim says that was relaxed at his, and you can wear whatever you want. Yeah. So the dress code thing goes back to union management stuff. This goes back to the Bush administration. It's a long story, bro. I'll break it down for you next time we have a drink or we break bread. I'll break it down to you. But here's the deal: there is no dress code, right? There is no dress code. What Brother T was talking about happened years and years ago. It's a union thing, and it was a big mess. It was a big mess. But yeah, I will. That's definitely a story for drinks, bro. But yeah, as far as you're concerned, no dress code. I would just tell you this, be professional. You could look good in what you're wearing, bro. There's some people that come in there, some controllers out there just roll right out of bed and come into work, man. They just look horrible to me. I might be wearing shorts and a shirt, but at least it's ironed. It looks good. You can wear what you want. My first year in the FAA, you would think I was working for a Fortune 500 company, man. I was in there with slacks, button-up shirts. I always look good because you have that 1 year of probation. They can terminate you for anything. When my year was up, right, on day 366, I came in there in some shorts and a t-shirt like everybody else, man. So we'll get into that later. So yeah, let's jump into this, man. This really happened, guys. This happened in Austin. This is Austin Approach Control. It's the first air traffic controller we're going to listen to. And then the second voice will be the tower, right? I'll point that out to you guys again. So, let's get into it. Let's give it a listen.
21 Flight Austin Approach, good afternoon. Maintain VFR at 5,500. I'll give you a couple vectors to send you to about a 4-mile initial. Foothill 73, once you get established on final, there's going to be a flight of 2 F18's. Will be 1,000 feet above you at 3,500 for the overhead.
Awesome.
All right, so right away, I'm going to pause it right here because he was talking to Snake 2-1. And I don't know if you guys saw, some of you guys are just listening, you're not watching this, you'll watch it later. But you didn't hear a response from Snake 2-1. Snake 2-1 is a flight of 2 F-18s, military jets. And he reached out to Snake 2-1. It's like, hey, maintain VFR at or above. I think he said 3,500. He gave him an altitude to stay above. He's like, I'm going to give you a couple of vectors to set you up on an 8-mile initial. What's an 8-mile initial? Basically, 8-mile final. And then the type of arrival that the F-18s are doing is called an overhead approach. And the overhead approach is kind of cool. They kind of fly over the runway. Let's say the runway is here. The overhead approach is you come over the runway and then you get what's called a break. And the break is basically a turn. And again, I'm keeping this just in everyday language, guys. I don't, if you were air traffic controllers, it'd be a whole different conversation. But so when you do an overhead, the tower normally gives you an altitude, it's normally about 1,000 feet over, but they'll give you an altitude in which to do your break, your turn, and they'll tell you where to do your break. You can do the break at the very beginning of the runway, at the middle of the runway, or at the end of the runway. So be approach in, midfield, or departure in. And they'll tell you, where the break. And it's cool when the F-18s do it. Military guys do it because they're going so fast. They wing up and man, they just come around and they spiral down from that 1,000 feet or whatever. They spiral down and they land. Right. So overhead approaches are really cool. Overhead approaches can get you out of a jam if you got a whole bunch of airplanes and they're like the speeds don't match. An overhead approach is a way to let the guys come in high and fast, and then they're just going to spiral in right over the runway, which is really cool. There's a lot of stuff you got to look for in the overhead approach, and we're going to get into that doing this video. This is why we're watching this video now. So you can't hear Snake 2-1 because they're on a UHF frequency. The Tracon controller is listening to Snake 2-1. He can hear Snake 2-1. Snake 2-1 can hear him. But all of the airplanes on the VHF frequency, which is the normal frequency for air traffic, is normally VHS, they can't hear the F-18s. They can only hear the air traffic controller talking to the F-18. Now, later on in this video, the F-18s are going to show up on the Victor frequency or VHF frequency. Let's continue.
So we'll be ready.
Just 699, descend and maintain 2,500.
2,500, is it 699?
Foothill 703, descend and maintain 4,000.
4,000 for 703.
Foothill 703, turn right heading 130.
Right heading 130, Foothill 703.
Snake 2-1, Roger. Turn right, give me a right turn heading 195 and go ahead and join the localizer at or above 5,500. Okay, just join the final approach course then.
Yep.
Affirmative. Foothill 703, fly heading 140, descend and maintain 2,500.
Heading 140 down to 2,500 for 703.
You said just 699, when you make that turn from Jedi to R2 airport, it'll be 11 o'clock and 9 miles.
That's sorry, is it 699?
Just 699, thank you. Clear visual approach running 18 left, tower 121.0.
Clear visual 18 left and tower 1210. That's 699.
So just in case you guys are wondering, this radar controller, this approach controller is doing an outstanding job. It's the approach control's job to line up all the arrivals for the tower. So basically the way this works is the tower in theory should only have to say clear to land when these guys come over and talk to the tower. They should already be sequenced and separated. Now that's for like IFR guys. Snake 2-1 is VFR, which means he's just flying visual flight rules, what he can see out the window. He's not flying by his instruments. ExecJet 699, they're flying by their instruments and they're on an IFR approach. However, the type of approach they're flying now is a visual approach, which means they're technically on their instruments, but they're using their eyes. They're flying in the way they're just by what they can see out there, because you have to have certain type of weather. It has to be clear, obviously, and it's a whole bunch of different rules in order to be used and able to use the visual approach. The thing with the visual approach is, for the radar guys, it's the easiest approach for them. They love the visual approach. If a pilot requests a visual approach, man, I'm 99% of the time, if it's available, the radar guy's going to say, yeah, absolutely. Cleared visual approach. It just makes it easier. So you have ExecJet 699. And that's a citation. It's one of the 6 series citations. Probably it could be like a 650. It could be, what other 6 series they have? They have, so with ExecJet, with that call sign, if it's a 6 or a 7, that's the type of plane that they're using. The 7s are citation 7s. The 6s are citation 6s. The 5s are citation 5s, and so on. So right away when I saw this, I'm like, oh, that's so when I made the thumbnail, I had to go find a 6 series ExecJet. So the picture I used was a 650. So you got this IFR jet on a visual approach. which means he's just flying. He can see the airport. The weather is good. He's basically going to fly straight into that runway, and then tower's going to tell him when to land and what number he is, number one or whatever to land. You got Snake 2-1, flight of 2 F18's, inbound, VFR. They're VFR and they want to go inbound, probably want to do some practice approaches. They probably want to do some stuff. So they're hauling, but the radar controller didn't restrict the speed on the F-18s, but he is restricting their altitude, which is good. Now, the altitude requirement between an IFR and a VFR is 500 feet, or they can have them in sight. So the like Snake 2-1 is going to see the citation, and that's legal separation. All right. So just again, a lot of stuff I'm going to say, you're going to be like, well, wait a minute, right? So just kind of hear me out. So the radar controller is responsible for establishing initial separation, which is going to be IFR separation between IFR and VFR aircraft. That's their job. It is their job to get them in line. So have you ever been to an airport, a busy airport, and you just see like at night and you see all these little dots, all those lines out there, man, looks like a string of pearls. That's what air traffic controllers call it. It's a string of pearls out there. And the TRACON guys are the ones who set that up. The men and women down in the TRACON, they'll set it up. So you got all those guys following each other and coming in here. You got 4 airplanes here, but the F-18s are considered one airplane because they're a flight. That's another thing you got to realize too. A flight is worked as one airplane. So Snake 2-1 could be a flight of 8. You're going to work them as one airplane. And as an air traffic controller, you got to remember that. Like, man, I got 80 of these dudes out here flying in formation. I need to give extra room for these dudes for other people because there's 8 airplanes. It's not just 1 or 2. But in this scenario right here is 2 F-18s. And bro, they are moving fast. You got ExecJet and you got Foothills. I'm not sure what type of airplane Foothills is, but Foothills was told by the radar controller that 2 F-18s are going to be in front of you. They're going to fly off your left or whatever. And Foothills like, all right, cool. Pilots like airplanes, man. Like, oh, we're going to get to see 2 F-18s. Right? It's like, all right, cool. So he's looking for the F-18s. ExecJet looks like he's number 1. He's on the visual approach. He's headed for the airport. And you got, a flight of 2 F-18s. Remember, ExecJet could hear the controller, the TRACON controller, talking to Snake 2-1, but he didn't hear Snake 2-1 answer on that frequency. But ExecJet has been shipped over to the tower. So ExecJet now is going to be talking to the tower controller. We're about to hear another voice. And Snake 2-1 is about to be shipped over to the tower as well.
Foothills 703, you might see him already up here 9 to 10 o'clock there in about 5 miles southbound. Flight of 2 F-18s, VFR 55.
I'll be looking inside Foothills 703.
Snake 2-1 flight, just continue straight in there and maintain VFR at or above 4,500. Snake 2-1 flight, traffic 2 to 3 o'clock and 3 miles southeastbound. A citation. He'll be at 2,500. You'll be over top of him for the left brake. You'll be following him to the airport. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll let tower know. Foothills 703 heading 145. Join the 18 left localizer. Advise airport in sight.
So you heard that part right there, right? The TRACON controller is telling Foothills about the 2 F-18s. Why? Because they're kind of going to pass off his left. You're like, oh, to your 9 or 10 o'clock out there is restricted above you. The TRACON guy told him they're VFR and they're restricted above you. So Foothills like, cool. I'm cool with this. I ain't got a problem with this. And he's looking. He's going to look out there and he's going to see him like, oh, there they are. I see him. Traffic in sight. Great. The F-18s are VFR. So there's not a whole lot of separation requirement he needs between Snake 2-1 and Foothills 703. He's good there. But the TRACON controller is worried about Snake 2-1 and ExecJet 699. Snake 2-1, they're moving pretty fast. TRACON guy knows it. TRACON guy also knows he's VFR. So he's going to have to separate them. So he gave them a restriction. He told them to maintain at or above 4,500. Why? Because ExecJet has been cleared at 2,500. So ExecJet's at 2,500, and he's got more than enough separation between ExecJet and F-18s. And he's given all this to the tower, and everything is sorted out. There's nothing tower really needs to do initially. Tower needs to do some work. But the TRACON controller, in my opinion, did a really good job of sequencing these airplanes and giving tower something to work with. And that's all the tower guys ask. Like, hey, man, just give me something to work with, bro. Just give me something to work with. So And if you're a tower controller and you see this and you have a question about it, you can push a button and talk to that radar controller. Just push a button right in front of you, boop, and you're talking right into his ear. Hey man, what are you doing with Snake 21 and ExecJet 699? Who's number one? And the radar guy is going to say, it's up to you. Snake 21 is restricted at 4.5. We got a restricted VFR at above 4,500. And ExecJet is at 2,500, clear for the visual approach. Your control. Right? So those are the magic words right there. The radar guy, and I bet you I'm not gonna say I bet you, but there's a chance that there could be a radio control. What am I trying to say? There is a recording. That's the word I'm looking for. There is a recording between the local controller, the guy in the tower, and the Tracon controller, the guy setting all this up. There's a chance that either the local controller, the tower guy, called the radar guy and asked him what's going on, or the radar guy called the tower and told him what's going on. Hey, man, foothills restricted VFR at above 4,500. That's all the tower guy needs to know. And then he'll say the magic words, your control, which means the radar guy has no other traffic out there for the F-18s. You can do what you want with them. Your control. I got him at 4.5. I got him at 4,500 VFR. They're level there. And at 2,500 is this citation. You can do what you need to do at this point. Your control. Now, we don't get to hear that, but I would bet almost anything that conversation happened. I'm willing to bet anything that conversation happened. So, shout out to the radar controller, whoever that approach controller is at Austin working this sector, and they get it done to Marco because they set this up perfect. You can't ask for anything better. They set this up perfect. Right? This is where it's supposed. This is it. This is ATC right here, bro. He set it up perfect. I'd be happy with it if I was a tower controller. But the tower controller has to finish it. The tower controller has work to do. Let's continue.
Report inside, heading 145, foothills 703.
Foothills 703, thank you. Clear visual approach, running 18 left.
Clear for visual, 18 left, foothills 703.
Snake 21 flight, maintain VFR 3,500 now, 3,500. Snake 21, are you going to need a UHF for tower? Just maintain 3,500, and you can contact tower now. 121.0, they'll have the break for you. Have a good afternoon. Foothills 703.
So you see what he did. Like if you're watching this video screen right here, you see these two lines. This is the airport. These are the runways. It's 18 left and 18 right. Remember, you orientate yourself to the pilot's point of view, 18 left and 18 right. So it's, from the pilot's point of view, left and right. So the controller has cleared ExecJet 699 for a visual approach, right? 18 left, I believe. He's descended Snake Hill 2-1 in flight. He told them to maintain VFR now at or above 3,500. So you can see what he's doing. He's stepping the F-18s down, reference ExecJet in front of him. He only needs 500 feet separation between these two, or he needs Snake 2-1 to see the citation. So what the radar controller is doing is ensuring separation, right? He's ensuring separation using altitudes. It's like, all right, I got him restricted at 4,500. ExecJet is restricted at 2,500. So he's like, okay, I can bring Snake down to 3,500 because ExecJet has gotten down to his altitude at 2,500. So I'm going to put 1,000 feet between these jets, which is great, more than what you need. And he's also sequenced foothills. Hey, foothills, do you see these two F-18s out there? Yeah, I see them. He's all right, fine. Got him in there, got him set up for the approach as well. Done. Approach control is done. Right? So now everyone's going over to tower. ExecJet's talking to tower. The approach control asks Snake 2-1, hey, do you need UHF for tower? The UHF frequency, because that frequency is not going to be in his memory. He's going to look up, and the frequency is right in front of him. He's going to be like, what's that UHF frequency at Austin? He can pull it up right there. In fact, he probably has it written down somewhere because he knows he may need it. And Snake 2-1's like, nah, we're gonna use the VHF frequency. So even better, you're gonna have ExecJet, you're gonna have Snake 2-1, you're gonna have foothills all on the same frequency talking to tower. This is amazing. This is now you good to go. 100% solid. You can't ask for anything better, bro. You can't ask for anything better.
03 Tower 121.0. Have a good afternoon.
210, Foothill 703.
Tower 699 is Jedi inbound.
Exec Jet 699, Austin Tower, 18 left, clear to land.
18 left, clear to land. Is it 699?
Exec Jet 699, cancel landing clearance, traffic's going to be holding in position.
699, cancel landing clearance.
Career track 353, Austin Tower, only 18 left, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 18 left, crew track 353.
Career track 353, traffic's citation, 5 mile final.
5 mile final, citation, crew track 353.
Delta 20.
Okay, so what just happened here? So ExecJet checked in with Tower. And Tower's like, all right, cool, ExecJet 699, runway 18 left, clear to land. ExecJet reads it back, 18 left, clear to land. Tower comes right back, cancels landing clearance. Why? Because you're going to put somebody on the runway. And you can't, according to the rules, probably there are rules there. And this is the rules pertaining to line up and wait. We talked about line up and wait a couple of videos ago. So if you basically, what the FAA wants controllers to do is not have someone cleared to land and someone lined up, given a line up and wait instruction at the same time. So, and again, the rules vary from facility to facility, but what the FAA wants to do, they do not want a situation where someone has been put on a runway, lined up and wait, and there's someone on final who's been cleared to land on that same runway and something happens. The controller forgets about the guy in position or something else goes on and that jet with the landing clearance on that runway lands and strikes the airplane that's on the runway waiting to go. This is what the FAA wants to do. Why? Why is it that this rule exists? Well, a long time ago at LAX, when the procedure was taxi into position and hold, it was nighttime. At LAX was real busy. A controller put an airplane in position and hold at an intersection, and another airplane was on final, cleared to land, which was the rules back then. It was fine. Again, these rules work if you know what you're doing, and it was fine. But allegedly, something went wrong. The controller never gave the takeoff clearance to the airplane in position, or the airplane in position didn't hear the clearance. If one was given, airplane landed and struck the other aircraft, which was on a runway in position. It was tremendous loss of life. And the rules for line up and wait, well, back then was position to hold, changed forever. So you guys can look that up. It happened in LAX. You can just Google LAX runway collision fatality, something like that. It'll come up. I want to say this was back in the early 90s, early to mid 90s. Don't hold my feet to the fire on that. But it was one of, if not the worst aviation disaster involving air traffic control at the time. Right. So you can go look that up. So those rules carry forward. The FAA does not want people with the instruction to line up on the runway and wait if the next airplane to land has been cleared to land. They don't want that. They want to make sure that you're doing one or the other. They don't want you to do both. I don't have a problem with the rule. It is what it is. Last good man, Jersey's in the building. What's good, fam? So the tower controller told ExecJet 699, runway 18 left, cleared to land. First call. Then he went right back to him, canceled his landing clearance because he's going to put somebody in position and depart him prior to his arrival. No problem. Then the next transmission, the tower controller went to the aircraft on the ground, line up, runway 18 left, line up and wait, traffic 5 mile final, citation. And he's waiting for whatever he's waiting on. Maybe someone just landed. Maybe there's someone in the traffic pattern, like just practicing, like landing and taking off. Maybe there's a crossing going on. Who knows? But whatever's going on, the controller's watching that. As soon as that runway is clear, he's gonna launch that guy for takeoff. He's gonna clear that guy for takeoff, no problem. And then he's gonna go right back to ExecJet 699, runway 18 left, clear to land. That's what he's gonna do. Right? So that's how that works, and that's why he had to cancel the landing clearance.
2297, contact departure.
See ya.
Southwest 171, turn right at Lima, contact ground point 9.
All right, Lima over to ground, Southwest 171.
Austin Tower, Snake 1 Fighter 2 F18's 3500, looking for the unrestricted altitude airspeed, break 18 left.
Crew track 353, Austin Tower, fly runway heading runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
18 left, runway heading, clear for takeoff, crew track 353.
Exec jet 699, Austin Tower, runway 18 left, clear to land.
18 left, clear to land, 699.
Snake 21, Austin Tower, so approved as requested. Report left brake over the numbers.
Snake 21, Wilco. All right, push it up, dude. Give me burner if you need to.
Okay. So here we go. Exec jets inside of a 5-mile final just been cleared to land 18 left. Remember everything we said just a moment ago about line up and wait and all that? It all happened. Lined the airplane up. As soon as the runway was clear, he launched the airplane. Then he went to exec jet, cleared exec jet. Then he went to Southwest, told him to contact ground. And then Snake checked in doing all that. And he went to Snake. I'm not sure if the controller understood exactly what Snake 21 requested. He heard overhead. He's like, all right, he's going to do an overhead approach. No problem. The controller needs to be thinking about a sequence. All right, who's going to get to the airport first? Right, that's what you need to be thinking. Now, remember, we already talked about overhead approaches, right? The cool thing about overhead approaches is you're going to have one airplane above the other airplane, and then they spiral down to land, right? So if your intent is to land exec jet 699 first, you're going to need spacing, right? You're going to need spacing, bro, because Snake 21 is not going to follow exec jet. He's going to overtake him. And then you heard the pilot talk to his co-pilot on frequency. All right, let's push it up. Give me some burner if you need it. So they're about to go super fast. We're about to do some real military jet flying here. The tower controller is probably assuming at this point that he doesn't have a problem, right? In his mind, he might be thinking Snake 21 is going to be first. I'm going to have him break the departure in, and, he can get in there first, or I'm going to have him break at the departure in and then have him land behind exec jet. Whatever the controller's thinking, we don't know. But the problem is right now is you need to have some sort of separation between Snake 21 and exec jet 699. That's what you need right now. Right now, you need a restriction. So you never assume in air traffic control. You don't ever want to assume, especially when airplanes are closing in on each other. Snake 21, yeah, we can assume that Snake 21 sees exec jet. In fact, if we go back to the approach controller called traffic, and I think Snake 21 said we have traffic in sight. Remember, Snake 21 is VFR. His only separation requirement is see and be seen, right? That's it. I see them, they see me. It is what it is. Exec jet has no clue, no reference point to Snake 21. But if exec jet was paying attention, exec jet knows that the radar controller separated them by altitudes. So Smoke 21 should be maintaining VFR at or above 3,500. And exec jet 699 has no restriction. He's descending on the approach. He's been cleared to land number 1, which means the tower needs to ensure separation between Snake 21 and exec jet 699. Now, here's the thing. I already told you the separation requirement has been met more than once. The radar guys gave him an altitude restriction, and we believe that Snake 21 has exec jet in sight, and Snake 21 is VFR. And if they see the airplane, that's all the separation they need. This is what got those people. This is what happened in DC. This is why everyone's talking about the helicopter pilot in the DC crash, because the helicopter pilot said, I see the traffic, will maintain visual separation, will pass behind, which is even more on the pilot, right? This is why everyone's talking about it, because that helicopter was VFR as well. So, fairly certain the Snake 21 indeed sees exec jet 699 at citation 6. He sees them. The flight sees them. But they made a request, and I'm not sure if the tower understood the request, because he just approved it. Now, with that approval, does that mean the Snake 21 can descend now? I wonder. Let's continue.
KSRA, forget the 699.
Exec jet 699, roger.
Fiddle 703, 2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 11 to break at departure in. Snake 1-1, traffic is Cessna, Cherokee.
That's right.
Snake 1-2-1, extend down. Snake 2-1, extend down.
All right. So right here, we heard the first controller voice that was doing all the work. He's starting to say Snake 1-1 now, getting a little flustered. What happened here is Snake 2-1 was cleared for the overhead. He's VFR and he is braking at the approach end. He's already in turn. These are F18's. They move fast. They outrun the radar. A lot of controllers look at the radar screen and they think that's real time. Like, nah, bro, you're looking into the past. The faster the airplane, the further back in the past you're looking on that. You got two F18's. By the time the radar shows the F18's turning, they've already made the first two turns and about to make the third. So ExecJet checked in and said something about an RA. He was like, oh, something about an RA. And what does that mean? That means his computer is screaming at him on board the airplane. His computer is screaming at him, hey, man, we got a target. There's a target resolution out this joint. What's going on? His onboard computer is probably trying to come up with a fix, like telling him to descend or turn left or right or something. So the pilot's like, what's going on? These F-18s are just buzzing him right now. And if you pay close attention, the controller's talking, he's saying Snake 1-1, he's saying all this stuff, and then you hear a different voice. I believe this controller that's working right now was being trained. And the trainer keyed up. Once the trainer felt, all right, this is a problem, I need to take over and fix this situation. So I believe the first voice we heard as a trainee controller was being trained by a more seasoned controller. And this is what this all sounds like. ExecJet right away says, hey, man, his computer's going, I'm getting the RA. That's a bad thing right there. Like, uh-oh, what's going on? I'm getting the RA. He sees these jets. These jets are in the break. They're going really fast. There are turbulence issues here. There are so many things going on right now. There's training going on in the tower. And now the trainer has to take over from the trainee because the trainee just screwed this up.
Fiddle 703, 2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 1-1, break at departure in.
So right there, Snake 1-1, break at departure in. This is a flight of two F-18s. Like, we're Snake 2-1. So 1-1 must be out here too. So you're using the wrong call sign. He's overtaking the citation. Snake 2-1 sees the citation jet, but remember, the citation was never told about these jets. The last thing in the citation pilot's mind is, I think I heard approach control say something about them being restricted above me. That's if they were even paying attention. They probably weren't. That's not something that pilots really listen to unless they have an ATC background. So basically what's going on is the F-18s began to descend. They were at 3,500. They began to descend. And they can see the citation jet in front of them, so they made room, whatever. Like, they're not going to hit him, but they're going to buzz him. They're going to go right past him really fast. And the tower's already cleared ExecJet to land. Snake 2-1 hasn't been given a landing clearance or a sequence. And the sequence is who you're going to follow. So the controller should have ensured the Snake 2-1 still had his altitude restriction of 3,500. Snake 2-1, maintain VFR above 2,500. Expect to break departure in. Something like that. Start to share your plan. I think we're going to have you break departure in, right? And then call traffic. Traffic 12 o'clock, 2 miles, descending on the approach or descending on the visual approach, citation. Had they said all that, now Snake 2-1 knows, like, oh, we're probably going to be following the citation. We're going to stay high a little bit. Snake 2-1 might come back and say, hey, we have the citation in sight. And then, you can say Roger, and then wait till they pass, maybe a sweep or two. They pass the jet. Once they pass the jet, cancel out total restriction. Their VFR, they'll dump it down. They'll dump it right down for the approach. But you got to sequence them. So break the departure in, number 2, follow citation, 2 mile final. That's how that's supposed to work. Right? So you keep your separation. Snake's kind of behind him and above him. He sees him. All right, we're going to stay at 3,500 and we're going to pass him. Afterburners, they're passing him in no time flat. Once he's passing, you can call traffic to the citation, right? ExecJet 699 traffic, 12 o'clock high, mile and a half southbound or same direction, flight of 2 F-18s. ExecJet's going to say, we have traffic in sight. Once you hear that, descend the F-18s. Snake 2-1 in flight, cancel out to restriction. They're coming right down. ExecJet 699, number 1, runway 18 left, cleared to land. The flight of 2 F-18s will follow you. So he doesn't care. Cool, I'm number 1. And then you tell Snake 2-1 in flight, departure in, like Snake 2-1, you know, got to tell him which way to turn, left turns, right turns. Probably going to be left turns. Break departure in. Number 2, follow citation. By this time, the citation will be like 2 mile final, mile and a half final, something like that. Snake 2-1 is going to say, roger, traffic in sight. They're going to come around on that break. Going to look real cool, come around on that break. They're going to see that jet, and they're going to line up right behind that jet, and they're going to land. Right? While all this is going on, you're going to tell ExecJet how to get off the runway and all that kind of stuff. You have to keep watching it. Because if Snake 2-1 in flight cut in too tight on the jet, you might have to send them around because you need to have a clear runway for them to land behind the citation. So that's everything that should have happened within that, minute and a half time span. The air traffic controller who's in training didn't do that stuff, right? So let's run it back. Let's run it back from this part right here.
Break at departure in. Snake 1-1.
2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 1-1, break at departure in.
He's using the wrong call sign. They've already overtaken the jets. So let me back this up even further. So he's using the wrong call sign. So the pilots aren't going to respond to that. The controller realizes he has a problem. And this is where now you start to stumble over your words. And his trainer is watching. His trainer's probably talking to him like, come on, man, you got stuff to do here. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Anxiety is through the roof, right? And this all started here when he let Snake 2-8 descend. He should have reiterated the altitude restriction. Snake 2-1 maintain VFR at or above 2,000, at or above 3,500, or you could say maintain VFR at or above 3. Here's the thing: Snake 2-1 is 2,800 feet descending. ExecJet 699 is 2,400 feet descending. So right here, you can see you're quickly losing that altitude separation, which you don't really need because they see the jet, which you're technically legal, but you still want to separate the flight of 2 from this jet. So you could have said maintain VFR at or above 3,000, call the traffic. Snake 2-1 will say, yeah, traffic in sight, right? And then wait, tell ExecJet 699, traffic 6 o'clock, mile and a half, flight of 2 F-18, same direction, restricted above you, report traffic in sight. That's a long transmission when you want to get it all out there. As soon as ExecJet sees the F-18s, which only probably would take 35 seconds, 40 seconds, something like that, ExecJet will call in, we see the F-18s, right? And at that point, the controller can make his choice. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be second? But you can call your sequence. But once ExecJet sees the F-18s, hey, we got the F-18s in sight, caution wake turbulence, traffic will descend ahead of you. Continue. And then go right to Snake 2-1. Snake 2-1, cancel out to the restriction, and they will just dump it down. That's what should have happened.
If you need to.
TCAS RA for Jet 699.
ExecJet 699, roger.
Fiddle 703, 2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 1-1, break at departure in. Snake 1-1, traffic is Cessna, Cherokee.
That's right.
Snake 1-2-1, extend down. Snake 2-1, extend down.
That'd have been nice to know, guy.
Snake 2-1, we thought you were going to start your descent in the break there, not prior.
Snake 2-1, negative. I requested altitude airspeed my description for the break. Misunderstanding, I suppose.
You see? The controllers approved his request. And in his request, he asked to descend. You see? This is why an air traffic controller should never, ever assume. Positive separation is always key. You need positive separation. Even if the radar guys told you, hey, he's restricted air above 3,500, I would have reiterated the restriction. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people watch this and be like, man, this is easy, bro. You just talking about some, Monday morning quarterback in here. I'll give you that. It's Monday morning quarterbacking. But here's the thing. In my career, I was fortunate enough that I worked with this type of mix of traffic at least once a year for the first 4 or 5 years of my career. Then I had this air show that would come every year. And it was a whole bunch of military jets that came out to Van Nuys. And we had to mix them in with all of our normal jets and slow airplanes and this and that. So, yeah, I learned from being in the trenches and dealing with this, you have got to pin down fast movers, especially military jets. You have got to pin them down. I need you at 3,500. If the pilot asks for something, and I'm not quite sure what he requested, I'm going to just issue my hold. I'm going to tell them what I need from them, and then I'll go back. Hey, say again request. Oh, we were going to ask you if we can descend our discretion, but disregard that. Okay, no problem. Once all the traffic has been passed, out to your discretion, they're jets, man. They go up and down fast all the time. Ain't nothing for the jets to dump it down. It seems like the controller who was training and the trainer, the controller who was watching him, both had an assumption that Snake 2-1 was restricted above the citation, which it's not an assumption. They were probably told by the radar guys that, hey, we restricted these fighter jets above the citation. So this is air traffic control all day, y'all. Now, someone's training. Would this had happened if it was a fully trained controller working by himself with an assist? I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Depends on the experience level of that controller. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's good man in Jersey. He's asking about was ATC at fault in DC? Bro, I would definitely. I said this the day it happened. The NTSB is going to do a breakdown as to who was responsible out of 100%, and they're going to pass that around. I would say that the air traffic controller, in my opinion, in the DCA incident, that crash was 40% at fault. I think 20% goes to the facility, goes to the whoever came up, like the FAA is going to have to take 20% because of the rules. They allowed those routes to exist. They didn't have the tower staff properly and all that. So I would say 60% goes to the controller and the FAA. And then of the other 40%, initially I broke it down. I said, well, it'd be 20% on the jet pilot crew and then 20% on the helicopter pilot's crew, the helicopter crew. But I think it's going to be, I would say of the remaining 40%, 35% goes to the military helicopter crew and 5% goes to the jet crew. And the only reason I give the jet crew 5% is because their onboard systems were telling them to climb. And the NTSB has already released that the attitude of the airplane was beginning to change. Like moments before the impact, the plane changed its attitude, was trying to climb. And they're saying that the crew can be heard saying something. They didn't say exactly what the crew said, but I'm pretty sure the crew said WTF, but they didn't use they didn't use the initials. Like, what the, and began pulling back at the same time. However, it was too late. So I think it's going to be, that's my breakdown. 40%, 60% of the blame goes to the FAA. I would say 40% to the controller, 20% to the FAA, 35% to the helicopter pilots, because they shouldn't have been where they were. They shouldn't have been as high as they were, but that's a really bad route. And then 5% to the jet pilot crew. That's my take on that. Yeah, girl, that pilot in the citation. The pilot in the citation was really upset. The reason he was really upset is because he didn't know. If you tell a pilot what's going on, 9 times out of 10, they're okay. They're okay with it. Now, Snake 2-1 got real close to that citation. He probably didn't like that at all. Even if he knew they were going to pass close, he probably would have keyed up and said, hey, man, I think they was going to pass that close. So you still have to provide separation. But this is what I'm talking about. This is air traffic control all day, every day. So let's run it back one more time. So you guys can check this out one more time. And this is, it's hard to train people. It's hard to train people as an air traffic control. They pay you extra money to do it, but man, it's difficult. It's really difficult to train people. You got to sit there and let stuff go because the trainee needs to benefit from the mistake. But you also have to keep the flying public safe, so you can only let it go so far. There's only certain things you can really let go. Something like this, man, I would not have been cool with this. I definitely would have been all over restricting Snake 2-1. I would have keyed up and gave the restriction myself. If I would have gave my trainee one time to get that restriction out there, that should have been on the initial call. He didn't do it on the initial call. I'd have keyed up and made that call. But I mean, we can get into training one day. We'll talk about how you train air traffic controllers. And it's tough, guys. It's tough. So let's watch this back one more time.
Hotel 703, 2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 11 to break its departure in. Snake 11, traffic, is Cessna, Cherokee.
That's right.
Snake 121, extend down one. Snake 21, extend down one.
That'd have been nice to know, guy.
Snake 21, we thought you were going to start your descent in the break there, not prior.
Snake 21, negative. I requested altitude airspeed, my discretion for the break. Misunderstanding, I suppose. I had to.
Right? He was like, nah, man, I asked for this. I asked to do this. Let's go back and see if we can hear it.
699, cancel landing clearance. Traffic's going to be holding in position.
699, cancel landing clearance.
Career track 353, Austin Tower, runway 18 left, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, runway 18 left, crew track 353.
Career track 353, traffic's citation, 5 mile final.
5 mile final, citation, crew track 353.
Delta 2297, contact departure.
See it.
Southwest 171, turn right at Lima, contact ground point 9.
Alright, Lima over to ground, Southwest 171.
Austin Tower, Snake 21, Fighter 2, F18's 3500, looking for the unrestricted altitude airspeed, break 18.
He asked for it right there. He asked for it right there. Tower didn't understand the request, didn't hear it, wasn't listening for it. The guy's busy. He just had a departure, had a Southwest landing, put a guy in position, got a guy on final, got the F18s coming out there, got Foothill out there. He's got a lot going on. He's this is moderate traffic, probably complex. We don't know what's going on the ground, so he really wasn't paying attention. Snake 21 checked in, flight of 2 F18s, 3,500, looking for the unrestricted altitude airspeed break. 18 left. 18 left, right there. He asked for it. And what did Tower say? Approved. Let's listen.
Career track 353, Austin Tower, fly runway heading runway 18 left, clear for takeoff.
18 left, fly, runway heading, clear for takeoff, crew track 353.
Exec jet 699, Austin Tower, runway 18 left, clear to land.
18 left, clear to land, 699.
Snake 21, Austin Tower, it's approved as requested.
Right? Snake 21, Austin Tower, approved as requested, reported left break over the numbers. So here we have a situation where the controller didn't understand and or didn't hear the complete request from the pilot. He just assumed, because this probably happens a million times a day there, this is probably normal operations, he just assumed that he was coming in, radar had him restricted, but Snake 21 asked to lift the restriction. So Snake is already at 3,100. So it seems to me he was already sneaking down. He was already sneaking down. He was restricted above 35. And ExecJet checked in, cleared to land number 1. Right? So this is the problem. You can see how fast these things can snowball into something real. Sister Tia, like, will Snake 21 feel bad turbulence? Snake 21 wouldn't. So Snake 21, they're going to generate wake. They're not going to feel any. This citation is way smaller than they are. The F-18s are big airplanes, guys. If you ever get a chance to go see an F-18 in real life, go see one. F-18, F-16s. If you go somewhere and they got like an F-14 there, like old school F-14, you see how big these airplanes are. These fighter jets, man, they're massive, right? They both have twin engines and they generate quite a bit of wake, especially when they, remember this, the Snake 21 told his, they call them playmates. He told his wingman to go with a little bit of afterburner. So they're really going fast. So depending on where they intercept ExecJet, if they're above ExecJet and they descend in front of him, that's when the wake comes down on you. Like wake turbulence goes out and down and outward. It goes down and outward. So depending on where they were, like if they got below ExecJet before they passed him, ExecJet wouldn't hit as much turbulence. And this is something we got to talk to pilots about. I don't think he would hit as much turbulence, although he would be descending into it. So, but wake turbulence, hey, good for you, sis. Wake turbulence is definitely a factor. You know what I'm saying? Look at the ATC brain on Sister Tia. Like, yeah, wake turbulence will definitely be a factor. What I would have probably done, because I would definitely be worried about the wake turbulence. You could keep ExecJet restricted above, keep Snake 2-1 at 3,500 above ExecJet, have him, get at least a mile, 2 miles in front of him, and then begin a descent. That's going to happen so fast. Like, okay, speed your discretion. So you can cancel the speed restriction, but keep them at VFR at or above 3,500. You want them going fast, but you don't want them to descend yet. You call the traffic, like I said before, we see the traffic, Roger, tell ExecJet the F18's are going to pass above them. Report traffic aside, ExecJet, we see the traffic, Roger, then you can cancel out to restriction on Snake 2-1. Probably at that point, make them number one. Have them break at the numbers or midfield and get them in before ExecJet. You can tell ExecJet you're going to be number 2 now, follow the F18's. And ExecJet will slow down to follow. Citations could get real slow. So, again, 1,000,001 things could happen and need to happen. It's up to the controller as to how he's going to do this. TRACON did their job, but it's up to the controller. Okay, how am I going to make this work? Because you got, you could have, there's so many different things. And we're not going to get into all of the different scenarios, but it's a million scenarios, right? You could leave Snake 2-1 at 2,000. You can step him down to 2,000. Once you see ExecJet get below 2,000, step Snake down to 2,000, keep him above ExecJet, have him overfly the airport, right? You don't know what's going on the right side of the airport, so a right brake would probably be out of the picture, but you can go down to the departure and left brake. He joins it down and come in behind him, which is the more logical solution there. You can break ExecJet 699 out. He's on a visual approach, but he's still on an approach. You can talk to TRACON and send him back to the TRACON if you want. But the problem is who's going to be number 1, who's going to be number 2. That was just it. There was no sequence given in a timely manner, and then both controllers, the trainer and the trainee, assumed that Snake 2-1 was going to stay high with the altitude restriction, but Snake 2-1 asked to cancel the altitude and speed restriction. So that's where we had the problem.
Did report left brake over the numbers.
Snake 2-1 will go. All right, push it up, dude. Give me burner if you need to.
TCAS RA, forget that 699.
Check.
So the TCAS RA is the computer sees this airplane. The computer recognizes that the airplanes are going really fast and that they're descending. That's where the RA came in. And the computer was probably just melting down. Like, I don't know what to tell the jet to do. I don't know what to tell the pilot to do. I guess it'd be a left turn or a right turn immediately. I don't know. And we don't know what else is out there. So the pilot's like, man, I'm getting this RA. Now the pilot's mad. He's mad. And by this time, he could probably see and or feel the jets go whipping right past him. And you are welcome, sis. But, I can see you really into it. And that was a really good observation. Yeah, wake turbulence, definitely a problem in this scenario.
Jet 699, Roger.
Hotel 703, 2500, visual 18 left.
Snake 1-1, brake at departure in. Snake 1-1, traffic, a Cessna, Cherokee.
That's right.
Snake 1-2-1 to extend down. Snake 2-1, extend down.
That'd have been nice to know, guy.
Snake 2-1, we thought you were going to start your descent in the...
Never say that.
Not prior.
Snake 2-1, negative. I requested altitude airspeed at my discretion for the break. Misunderstanding, I suppose. I had the traffic in sight.
Doesn't matter.
Snake 2-1, we'll call your base turn.
Snake 2-1, Roger.
It's going in ASAP, just so you know. Foothills 703, 5 mile file.
Foothills 703, runway 18 left, go to land.
1 left, clear to land, Foothills 703.
Good to 699, turn right, taxiway, Kilo. Contact ground point in.
Right, Kilo, 699.
Snake 2-1, you can turn base your discretion, runway 18 left, go to land.
Snake 2-1, base my discretion, 18 left, clear to land.
Foothills 703, turn right, taxiway, Kilo. Contact ground point in.
Kilo, ground point 9, Foothills 703.
Snake 2-1, turn right, 1 able, and remain this frequency.
Snake 2-1, will go.
Snake 2-1, just want to verify. You guys did have that jet that you descended in front of in sight?
Snake 2-1, affirmative, break. If you got a number, I kind of want to talk to you guys about that.
Yeah, I was going to give you the number here because I guess there was a miscommunication. I misunderstood what was requested, I guess. So give me just a second, I'll get that for you.
And that's how it works. Snake 2 1, like, we want to talk about it. ExecJet was furious. ExecJet was furious. Snake 2 1, they made the request. They got her approval on a request. They descended. Yeah, of course they saw him. They saw him. It's like, they know the rules. They know what they're doing. But ExecJet had no idea. And that is a problem. That is a problem. Is it better to have different frequencies, or does it make it more complicated? Different frequencies really makes it more complicated, in my opinion, sis. In my opinion, it makes it more complicated because I want everyone to hear what everyone else is doing, not just me. I want them to hear everything. When it comes to the jets and the Cessnas and the jets and the slow movers and the fast movers, an air traffic controller paints the picture. He's giving the instructions, and when the other pilots can, figure out what you're doing, they can help you better. They can see what's going on. You have pilots that fly all the time. I can tell you, it was a story of Van Nuys. I use a lot of stories of Van Nuys because of the mixture of traffic. You have a lot of VFR traffic. You have fast airplanes, slow airplanes, high performance airplanes, low performance airplanes. It's crazy, but you got to make it work. So one day I'm working and there's a gaggle of airplanes. I'm like, bro, in 2 minutes, I'm going to be down the drain. Just when it's like, bro, it's about to get ugly here in 2 minutes. And one of the planes out there that was flying, it was a pretty high performer. And he's like, I'm painting the picture. I'm setting everything up. I'm doing all I got to do. I'm talking a mile a minute. And the airplane that was on the downwind, who was going to be number 8, he was literally going to be number 8, because I knew the airplane, and this airplane can perform, but the pilot that normally flies this airplane doesn't do anything extra. Like he's just slow like molasses, but he wasn't flying. It was another pilot flying, a pilot that I knew. And this dude is a pilot, and he didn't want to go out and have to fly another 12 miles. He's like, bro, I can land now. I can give you a good short approach. And I recognize his voice. So it's like right away. I approved it, gave him a short approach. He cranked it in. He went from being like number 1. I mean, he went from being like number 8, maybe number 12 in the sequence, to being number 1. He got on the ground, got off, he was good to go. He saved all that gas, a lot of money. It's a lot of gas he didn't have to buy. If his buddy had been flying the airplane, yeah, he'd have been extended. There's no way, because the guy didn't have the skill set to do this. So the buddy didn't, but the guy we were talking to did. And the reason he made that request is because he heard me talking to all these airplanes. He heard these airplanes. It was a couple Gulfstreams out there, a Citation, a West Wind. Then we had 2 Cessnas. One was a twin Cessna, one was a 182. We had a biplane out there, right? And we had a slow biplane too. It's like a Waco, like open cockpit, crazy slow airplane. We had him out there. I'm missing somebody. We had someone else out there. But anyway, there's a few other airplanes out there, mostly fast, but it's like 2 or 3 slow dudes, one really slow dude, and then it was him. So he was like, nah, I can get in right now. And he asked because I was painting the picture. He heard me talking to everybody else. He heard me slowing people. He heard me telling people to keep their speed up. That means go fast. He heard me moving people around so they could follow. I'm calling traffic like crazy. He figured it out like, oh, he's making me like number last. I want to be number 1. So I could give you a really good short approach. I could get on the deck. Cool. Approved it, make short approach, clear and land, 16 right, number 1. And it worked out. And again, it was me painting a picture so all the other pilots can hear it. So you want them ideally on 1 frequency. But sometimes you don't get it like that. Sometimes you got to, they're spread out among 2 frequencies, a UHF frequency and then your VHF traffic. And it kind of sucks. But no, it makes it better when they're all on 1 frequency. Yeah, oh, he's mad, and that's the standard to make a report. Yes, it is. Pilots don't normally like to do that, but when they do, you tell they're real mad. Especially when they key up and say, "I'm making this report," they're really mad, and it's basically a near midair report. And the military guys like, well, look, I need to talk to somebody because he's going to make a report too, and he knows like, bro, I'm gonna slam the tower because you approved it. I saw everything. We're legal here. So that's why the military guy wanted to call the tower and talk it over. As a controller, you never really want to air that dirty laundry out there on the frequency, because then someone like me, years down the road or whatever, can listen to it and tell you like, nah, don't do that. just say, hey, give us a call. Give us a call. And they'll give you probably a non-recorded line to talk to you on. Just to let people say what they got to say, call you dirty names, whatever. But yeah, you never want to do that stuff. Well, I thought this, well, I thought that. Nah, it's clear as day he asked for the unrestricted speed and descent. You missed it. 100% air traffic. And the controller knew it. He's like, man, and the controller's mad. Like, I was training this dude. You know, you get a controller who trains, and you got a trainee that, makes too many mistakes. Controllers ain't going to want to train that person. Like, man, I don't want to train them. I don't want to train them. And then what'll happen is when you force them to train that person, they'll never learn anything because the controllers don't trust them. It's like, nope. Whenever it starts to get moderate or busy or complex, they're just going to take over. The controller's going to work everything out. So you'll never find out if this controller can actually do it or not. So that's like another issue. But yeah, when they say they're gonna do that report, it's crazy, man. Signal one. Can't they just ping it via satellite? Ping it. Not quite sure what you're talking about, bro. Welcome. Signal one, but not quite sure what you're talking about. Because we're talking about different things right here. So and this is the end. I gotta wrap this up. I just looked up, man. I've been doing this for an hour and 15 minutes, man. I gotta get going. I got a show to do tonight. So like Signal One SNG1, welcome. Good to see you. Hope you enjoyed this. I'm not quite understanding the ping it part. Let me know what you're talking about there, because we were talking about a couple different things. I'm not sure what part you were referring to. But my final analysis of what happened here, I think it's plain to see. We all saw it. The F-18s were restricted. The F-18s were separated from the citation. The F-18s even saw the citation. Approach control did their job, 100% on point, outstanding job approach. The tower didn't have a plan. The tower wasn't prepping the air crews for the plan, wherever the plan was. And the most important thing, the most damning part about all this is the F-18s clearly requested an altitude descent and unrestricted on the speed. So they wanted to cancel the altitude restriction. They wanted to cancel the speed restriction. They asked if they could do that on initial call, and Tower said approved. So this is 100% ATC's fault. Now, when they delve into it, the F-18s didn't do anything illegal. They saw the traffic that they were passing. They were VFR. There's a whole bunch of this is so in the woods. Like, we're splitting so many hairs here. I think what went down on this is the tower got in trouble, would have gotten in trouble for approving the unrestricted descent and the unrestricted speed. It's really the descent. The speed doesn't really matter. So I think the FAA had to buy that. They got in trouble for that. And then ExecJet was just kind of, cannon fodder there, just kind of caught in the crosshairs. And they were just upset because you got these two big F-18 jets go zipping by. And I'm pretty sure things got bumpy for ExecJet a little bit. So he was really upset, and no one said anything to him about it. And so ExecJet has every right to be upset, and definitely a lot of times those guys say, I'm going to fill out paperwork, and they don't do it. They calm down once they land, but I'm pretty sure ExecJet filed that paperwork. I'm pretty sure he was really upset. He didn't like that. And the only thing the air traffic control needed in that scenario was a little bit of separation. They could have kept at a minimum 500 feet. I would have kept 1,000, at least 1,000, if not more. But if the tower had just kept a 500-foot cushion between the F-18s and the citation, and kept the F-18s level until the citation saw them, and once the citation saw them, they can just dump down the F-18s. It'd have been all cool. I think the pilot would have been happy, and ExecJet like, oh, look at that, that's cool. But when you turn your flight of F-18s, your flight of 2 into a flight of 3, including the citation, nah, pilots ain't gonna like that. They ain't gonna like that at all. So that's all I got for you guys for now. I hope you enjoyed it. Probably next Thursday we'll do another one. I have found so many of these on at least 3 different platforms that we can react to. So many of them are out there, guys. So we're definitely gonna check it out. Please do us a favor, man. Go over to Avocado Aviation and like and subscribe over there. I'm gonna at them on this video, so hopefully they'll see this. And I'm gonna try to catch up with those guys. It'd be nice to maybe get them on here and interview them and find out why they made the channel and who they are and all that good stuff. And Sister K, appreciate you. Thank you so much. With the $10 super sticker. Thank you so much. We're gonna continue to do this. We're gonna continue to do it. And but this is definitely ATC's fault on this particular video that we just broke down. Trust me, there are plenty of videos out there and breakdowns we can do will be the pilot's fault. So, you know, I'll try to keep it balanced. I'll try to keep it balanced. And you're welcome, sis. Thank you for all the support. I really appreciate you. You've been there, like I said, day one. You, Sister Candace, you know what I mean, Dr. B, all the brothers that came over from Fresh and Fit, man. I really appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. The jets move fast. The military jets. So I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna wrap it up. When you're looking at jets, when you're looking at like general aviation, you're looking at airplanes, there's some airplanes with propellers that go faster than jets. Right? You can get like an RV or a Meridian. You know, they got some airplanes out there that are so fast. A Glass Air will pull up right next to a jet, look over in the window and be like, "What's up, cuz?" And then hit it and pass and leave the jet behind, some of the jets. But then you got some slow jets out there, like slow in the climb, like slow in turns. You know, you got slow airplanes out there. But when you're dealing with like just jets and general aviation airplanes, you know, you got like your regular speed, then you got your medium speed, then you got your fast speed, which is gonna be like most of your jets. And then you got like that F1 speed, which is like your military grade stuff, bro. And here's the thing about military jets. There are people who have bought their own military jets, like Michael Dorn from Star Trek, right? Worf. He has a few jets. One of his jets is a Korean War vintage fighter plane, F-86 Sabre fighter jet. He used to come out fly every other weekend. Yes, flight suit, helmet on, all that. It's like, man, that airplane fought MiGs in the Korean War. You got people who own their own military fighter jets. Yeah, man, that's the kind of money they playing with. So, yes, sir, brother Carlos in the building. I'm afraid you did miss the whole show, bro, because I gotta go. Hey, watch it on Team Replay, man. I gotta go. I was just talking about fast airplanes and then even faster airplanes. So the military guys, bro, when they go supersonic, man, it is crazy the kind of speed they can go, the kind of climbs they can do. I can remember issuing max climbs. We had what was it? It was F18's. F18's, maybe it was F16's, I can't remember, but we were able to coordinate an unrestricted climb to flight level 210, like 21,000 feet, bro, off the deck, all the way up to 21,000 feet. And that thing climbed so fast, bro. It was just, man, if you're a little bit of an airplane nerd like I am, if you're an aviation nerd and you get the job as an air traffic controller in a tower somewhere and you get to work these airplanes, bro, I mean, I've seen, just think about all of the History Channel, you know, World War II vintage documentaries you've watched, like with P-51 Mustangs and, you know what I mean, like Corsairs and P-38 Lightnings and Zeros, the Japanese Zero and Messerschmitts and stuff like that. Man, I've seen those things fly in real life. I've seen them fly in real life. People buy them things up, B-17s, man, B-25 Mitchells. I've seen them fly in real life, man. It's the coolest thing in the world to watch a B-17 take off, man. You know, B-17's up in the air, and then you got P-51 Mustangs flying right next to it. I'm like, wow, it's history. You know what I mean? So with that, I gotta go. Look, you guys know I'm gonna love talking about this. I could talk out ear off. So as long as you want me to talk about this sort of stuff, I'm gonna talk about it. You guys have a great day. Do I have a favorite plane? I would say my favorite jet would be a Challenger 60 or Challenger 600. I think that would be my favorite jet. It's really big. You know, I'm 6 feet. I could stand up in that jet, no problem. It's fat, you know what I mean? Really wide. It's got plenty of elbow room in there as opposed to like the Global Expresses and the Gulfstreams and stuff like that. If money were no object, I would love to have my own Boeing 737. They call them business jets. The BBJs is business jet. That's what BBJ means. Boeing business jet for you dirty minded people out there. But I would say the Challenger 600 is my favorite. And then if I could just, again, if money is no object, I wouldn't mind having like a Glass Air. I think that'd be really nice. It's a really tight, confined airplane, but it's like a little hot rod. I think a Glass Air would be nice. My buddy TK, who was on here a couple days ago, he was thinking about getting a Glass Air. I don't know if he ever got one or not. I think that would be it. And then I guess the coolest plane, what I think is the coolest plane out there is always going to be the Boeing 747. I think the Boeing 747 is just the coolest airplane ever made. I just like the way it looks. You know what I mean? I like watching them take off. I like watching them land. Those 4 engines, and I mean, it just looks like a monster out there. So I would, but I love any airplane, bro. If someone has an airplane out there and y'all want to go flying, you're like, hey, Saint, we're gonna come pick you up and go flying. I will say yes. Like, let's go. You can pick me up right here in St. Pete or Tampa, and we can fly down to Miami, have lunch, and fly back. So it is what it is. And Sister Nicole, like, she's an aviation nurse, so you know what it is. 6 years in the Air Force. It's just cool. Hey, go over to Van Nuys has some cool old planes. They have like T6s that are based there. There's a couple Mustangs that are based there. I'm gonna have to work something out with you, sis. I'm gonna have to work something out with you with some of my friends out there in Cali, because you're right down the street at Burbank. They get you over to Van Nuys so you can see some of these cool airplanes. Get your airport tour so you can kind of, you know what? How can I forget this? Look it up, guys. Look up the Stagger Wing. Stagger Wing. It's a biplane, but it is the coolest biplane I've ever seen. The Stagger Wing. Look up the Stagger Wing, guys. Next time we talk, let me know what you think. Yeah, look up the Stagger Wing. That is one of the coolest airplanes I've ever seen fly. So let me go, y'all. See, I've been done sat here forever. I gotta feed my daughter. She's gonna get mad at me for not making her dinner. So before I leave. So look, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I definitely enjoyed that show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll definitely have some more for you probably on Thursday. I'll find another video. We'll react to that. And remember, we're going to definitely get back into some red pill stuff as well. I will probably do a show on Saturday, just talking about some relationship stuff that I see going on out here, some red pill stuff. So you ain't, look out for the thumbnail. If I do it, it'll probably be sometime around 4 or 5 o'clock East Coast time, maybe. I don't know. But I'm gonna probably jump on Saturday and do something. So anyway, that's it. I gotta go. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast, man. I will talk to y'all later. Be safe. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.